Demerara from New Hope to Tamari from 5 to 5:15 hours, and on the Linden Suicide Highway in the Suicide Junction to Haruni from 5 to 5:15 hours. And the reason for the outage is to facilitate the movement of GPL's generator set from the asphalt plant to GPL's Garden of Eden power plant. And did you know that weekly plant maintenance allows for routine inspection and maintenance of the network to provide customers with a reliable supply of electricity? GPL, empowering you.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
A pleasant good afternoon to you and welcome to your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. My name is Joshua Van Slykeman. In our headlines this afternoon, Guyana boasts of collecting billions in oil money but no evidence to back it, according to U.S. financial analysis. And Exxon cannot be operating at maximum and flaring on the maintenance, according to Dr. Adams. ExxonMobil facing another lawsuit over alleged inflation of U.S. assets. And meanwhile, new EPA head drops action to fine Exxon for 2019 hydraulic spills. And Guyana gets $266 million in oil production as operator extracts in excess of $1 billion in crude from Stabroek Block. Get the details of these stories and much more when the news returns.
Introducing the new Digital Prime bundles. Better than anything we've ever offered before. More music on D-Music. More messaging on BIP. More radio streaming on Go Loud. More storage on Billo. More control on My Digital app. With the new Digital Prime bundles, it's never been easier to get more digital experiences. Plus, extra data. Get 30 gigabytes with a 7-day Prime bundle for only $2,000. So much data, so much fun. Buy in My Digital app today. Digital, better together.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. For 5 years, Guyanese have heard various accounts from previous and current government officials about the billions of dollars the nation is poised to receive from the exploration of its oil resources. But what continues to be withheld from citizens is evidence to support such claims. So said Tom Sanzelo, Director of Financial Analysis at the Institute for Energy and Financial Analysis. Sanzelo said that there is a crying need for more transparency in Guyana's oil industry, while noting that he's left to wonder for how long Guyanese will continue to accept this level of non-disclosure. He went on to say that years after the Stabroek Block deal was struck with Exxon and its partners, Hess Corporation and CNOOC Nexen, Guyanese remain in the dark about the anticipated revenues from the project, how much it would cost the country to obtain its share, and the size of its shares compared to ExxonMobil's. Sticking with ExxonMobil Guyana's claim that its increase in flaring at its Liza Phase 1 project falls under the category of maintenance and repairs should be deemed quote-unquote nonsense. This is according to former EPA Director Dr. Vincent Adams. Exxon continues to operate at the maximum capacity, producing 120,000 barrels of oil while flaring 16 million cubic feet of gas daily on the Liza Destiny vessel despite its gas compressor malfunction. Meanwhile, ExxonMobil Guyana's president Alastair Routledge continues to insist that the oil company's increase in flaring is not illegal and falls within the purview of the permit. And still on Exxon is facing another lawsuit over claims that it allegedly inflated the value of its Permian Basin assets. Representing aggressive shareholders of the multinational is the Kilwin law firm. According to a statement from the firm, the complainant filed against ExxonMobil, that should be the complaint filed against ExxonMobil Corporation, alleged that it made materially false and or misleading statements and or failed to disclose. The law firm noted that shareholders have until March 29, 2021 to petition the court for a lead status, that should be. EPA Director Sharifa Razak has moved to drop fines against ExxonMobil for 2 hydraulic fluid spills that occurred in the Stabber block in 2020. According to Razak, these 2 fluid spills had occurred on April 10th and May 9th, 2020. She indicated, however, that because of volume of the spill into the ocean was quote-unquote small, the EPA rescinded any intentions to fine the oil company. She then went on to say that even though a letter has been sent out to Exxon indicating that they had to pay a fine, a letter retracting same was sent out to the oil company in October 2020. The Ministry of Natural Resources has released the figures for the amount of money deposited into the Natural Resources Fund, with just about $246.5 million in profit, along with $21.5 million earned in royalties over the past year. With royalty charge at 2%, it would mean that the royalties earned reflects total production worth some $1.1 billion during the course of the reporting period. The profit oil for Guyana, as announced by the ministry, uplifted in 5 shipments totaling some 5 million barrels of oil, has earned Guyana $246.5 million under the petroleum lifting agreement signed between partners. Guyana receives 1 in every 4th lift. This is your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Still to come, Trevor Ben remains in lockup as land probe continues. Boy 10 shot dead in Sophia home invasion. And your COVID-19 update comes up after this. Stay with us right here on Kaieteur Radio.
Good morning. GHK Lal on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Thank you for joining me on the National Outlook on Thursday, March 11th.
99.1.
The week is closing in, and I talk again today
and a rebroadcast of the next day at 11 a.m. just in case you missed that program.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Still in police custody as the probe continues into the alleged leasing of state lands in Trevor Ben, former commissioner of the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission. This is according to Crime Chief Wendell Blanham. Ben was arrested on Wednesday for the alleged illegal leasing of 6 acres of state lands located at Ogle, East Coast, Demerara. The lands, according to allegations leveled against him, belonged to NISIL and not the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission. Despite this fact, it is alleged that Ben moved ahead to illegally lease the plot of land to a company called Jansiu Engineering Limited for some $27 million. We tell you now that hours after it was reported that Reverend Patrick Dooley-Chans of Success East Coast Demerara was dismissed from the Guyana Police Force as the force chaplain, he was reinstated to his position. Kaieteur Radio had reported yesterday that based on the dismissal letter seen by this newscast that Reverend Dooley-Chan is being investigated for alleged financial crimes. Also referenced as a reason for dismissal in the letter signed by Senior Superintendent Calvin Brutus was Dooley-Chan's prayer at the opening ceremony. Last Thursday, March 4th, the Guyana Police Force launches its 3-day annual officers conference at the National Cultural Center. In attendance were President Irfan Ali, Minister of Home Affairs Robeson Ben, Chancellor of the Judiciary Yonit Cummins Edwards, and other dignitaries and members of the joint service. We tell you now that a 10-year-old boy had his life snuffed out yesterday after he was shot dead by bandits during a home invasion. Killed by a bullet that struck him to the chest area is Anthony Court of Seafield, Sophia, Greater Georgetown. The young boy was shot sometime around 13 hours while he and his mom were at their neighbor's home located just 2 lots away from their house. According to the police, 2 masked men armed with a gun had invaded the neighbor's home and around that hour. They were held at gunpoint, police stated, and stripped of their gold jewelry, including a band, rings, and chains. The bandits also robbed them of their cell phones. After robbing them, they forcefully took the three women upstairs at gunpoint. As they were almost at the top of the stairs, Anthony ran out of the bedroom and one of the bandits fired a round which struck him in to the chest. You're listening to us right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. More news after the break. Stay with us.
This is GHK Lal inviting you to join me weekdays from Monday to Friday on the National Outlook for commentary on a range of issues. Immediately after the 12 noon and 7 p.m. newscasts on Kaieteur Radio at 99.1 FM and 99.5 FM. Looking forward to you sharing in the conversation.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. The Director of Public Prosecution has advised that the Speaker of the National Assembly, Mansour Nadir, oversee the probe into the allegations that Opposition Member of Parliament Tabitha Sarbo-Haley was assaulted by Public Affairs Minister Kwame McCoy. This comes after the Guyana Police Force commenced its own investigation into the matter. It was just last Friday that 6 opposition MPs were suspended from the House after protesting the removal of McCoy over the incident. We tell you now that the government has allocated $500 million in this year's budget to commence infrastructural work to the immediate Savannah, with a number of investors already expressing interest in the sector as part of the change by President Irfan Ali. The country becomes self-sufficient in the production of protein for the poultry industry. This charge was handed to the newly appointed Chief Executive Officer of the National Agriculture Research and Extension Institute and former head of the Guyana Rice Development Board, Jainarain Singh. Singh takes over from Dr. Odia Humnot, who was employed at the agency for the past 20 years. The new CEO, along with NARI staffers, met recently with Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa to discuss how the agency is expected to implement the new policies set out by the government of Guyana. We tell you now that Melroy Doris, the taxi driver who was charged alongside Lennox Wayne, called two colours for the murder of the Lusignan East Coast Demerara cosmetologist Ashmini Hariram, has pleaded guilty to the lesser crime of manslaughter. Doris pleaded guilty to the lesser count virtually before Justice Bracelton Reynolds at the High Court in Georgetown. According to the charge presented by State Prosecutor Tyra Barker on July 10, 2014, he unlawfully killed Hariram, called Monisa Hariram. According to the facts of the matter, on the day in question, Hariram was shot in the neck moments after she disembarked a minibus along the Lusignan Railway embankment, East Coast, Demerara. And we tell you now that Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony has revealed that the government will be sending COVID-19 test samples to a school of medicine in the United States to have them tested for the different COVID-19 variants. This is following Anthony's announcement last month that the government is actively exploring additional avenues to have test samples sent abroad for sequencing. It is now 12 hours 14 in Guyana and right across the Eastern Caribbean. It is time for your COVID-19 update. According to Worldometer, the COVID-19 cases worldwide stands at 119.2 million. The death, 2.6 million, and to date, 94.8 million persons have recovered from COVID-19. And in Guyana, the Ministry of Health yesterday reported the death of a 39-year-old female from Region 10 as the 206th COVID-19 fatality. 65 new infections were recorded yesterday, increasing the case toll to 8,993. 7 patients are in the COVID-19 ICU, another 16 in institutional quarantine, 31 in institutional isolation, and 519 in home isolation. Additionally, a total of 8,230 persons have recovered to date, with 19 new recoveries recorded yesterday. And internationally, coming from CNN, President Joe Biden announced Wednesday that he is directing the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to purchase an additional 100 million doses of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. And the House voted to approve President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief plan. The bill will go now to the White House for Biden's signature. The package includes up to 1,400 stimulus package checks for some Americans, extends pandemic unemployment benefits, and will send billions of dollars in aid to states and municipalities. And with that, we've come to the end of your main newscast right here in Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Let's remind you that you can get the full details of these stories and much more by picking up a copy of the Kaieteur News at a newsstand near you, or head across our website at kaieteurnewsonline.com. I am Joshua Van Sleckman. Thank you for joining us.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
Hours 17 in Guyana and right across the Eastern Caribbean. Coming up next is a short message from the publisher of Kaieteur News, Mr. Glenn Lal, on our oil wealth. After which GHK Lal will join us for the National Outlook.
Guyana, we can lose hundreds of millions of dollars in cleaning up. Many countries around this world